Today is Sunday. It's February 11th, and this is Journal 5. Um, so this week we had a project or an assignment that's due on this coming Wednesday, the 14th, I believe. But to learn all the most used taping and wrapping techniques. So that brings us to the topic of this journal, which is taping and bracing is an important skill that athletic trainers thrive in, but we have, the perception is that that's all we do. So how do I think that we can change this misconception? I definitely think that they don't. I know a lot of the people that I am still in touch with that went to other colleges and do other majors. They just think that I'm doing like an exercise science type thing, and then doing clinical hours. And so they usually ask like, oh, you just tape, right? And you stay on the side of the field and you just fix their ankle tape and you wrist tape and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, actually we do a lot of stuff. We have to know a lot of things. And I guess I know the people that know me are now educated because they really didn't think that we had all of these skills. Didn't know that we did the rehab. They didn't know that we had rehab techniques and injury prevention programs and treatment plans, stuff like that. But we do a lot of gen med and stuff like that. I feel like advertising athletic training as a major and as a career is important because I don't think a lot of people do that. I know growing up in middle school and high school, everyone just went to the AT for ankle tape or to cover up blood or to cover your cast, and that's all I thought it was at first. And then once I started shadowing our athletic trainer in high school, I realized she knows a lot. When someone falls and she goes out on the field, she's crossing things off, scene survey, primary survey, and doing her assessment and doing some of her major special tests on the field, and then choosing whether to come off the field and do the secondary survey or to refer and stuff like that. So I really think that we need to advertise what we do, and I know that athletes sometimes just don't really know what we do either, which is kind of frustrating. Or they say, you don't know how to do that. Like, I go to a physical therapist for that. Be like, well, we know how to do rehab and stuff like that. So the next question is, what is involved in taping and wrapping beyond what the public sees? So we need to know patient position. We need to know the steps of application. We need to know if they have any adhesive allergies or anything like that, because then we wouldn't be able to use tape on the skin or adhesive spray. But most of the time we need to know, well, actually all the time, we need to know their injury and why they're getting taped or wrapped, because when you sprain your ankle and you're coming back, we usually tape your first couple of practices back just to help you really mentally, but to stabilize and to support. So we need to know if it was an eversion sprain or an inversion sprain, or for the hip spica, we need to know which way to pull the hip, so stuff like that. We just need to know what happened so we can go forward with patient position. So also the public really doesn't see that we have a lot of different techniques or a lot of different options for the same, I guess, trying to avoid the same thing or trying to support the same thing. There's a lot of different ankle tapes out there. There's a couple different ways to like wrap fingers. There's a different way to tape wrist and wrap a shoulder or an elbow and your thumb and your hip. And there's a lot of different knee tapes and ways to wrap up your knee, but they don't see that. When you are thrown into the clinical setting and someone is used to this type of tape or this type of technique for wrapping, the athletic trainer is supposed to know that or be familiar with it. Not really that comfortable, but should have been able to do it before. So I really think that advertising what we do, or I guess getting the word out that we know more than they think that we do. Our program here is actually going to masters after my class will be the last one to leave Emory with a bachelor. So it'll turn into a master's program, and that's important to know for everyone else because I'm doing master's work level technically. I'm doing master's level work technically because the way that the master's program is set up to start this summer it's just the way that they do when they throw in their clinical and things like that is different. We do clinical first semester coming in, like we do our clinical experience and stuff like that. So I can graduate here with at the highest probably 900 hours of experience, which is great, and I don't think that they will. So I think that that's important as our major goes to a master's program, because it's that important, and this major is that difficult, and this career is difficult, and we get undermined or we have all these misconceptions about what we do. We need to get the word out and educate people and stuff like that. So the last part of the journal, as always, is tell you how many masteries and attempts I got this week. I wrote it down. I got 2 masteries this week and 38 attempts. So altogether I have 52 attempts and 23 masteries. I have a shoulder practical on Thursday, so I will have all those masteries. So I'll probably be around 80 masteries, which is good because to complete my book, the minimum I need is 175. So this is a good start. We're in week 6, so I need to start pushing through. But yeah, this week's gonna be difficult, but I'm gonna get through it. And see you next Sunday for Journal 6.